Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket train, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, traitors that star-spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land under the fray, and the home of the brave. Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight to invade the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save. Stand of the brave, the US of A. Oh, traitors that star-spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land under the fray, in the
This is Rio of Madison Rising, and you're watching MaxspeedTV.
There we go. Now that I got that working, good evening, race fans. Welcome to a special edition of Friday night here on MaxspeedTV. Mark Mann sponsoring tonight's race. Well, we are Mark Mann's Killin time again. 250 here at Talladega. Had a little bit of technical difficulties. I guess when they did the update, it took my microphone as far as a source goes, but we got that fixed. But let me do a little bit of housekeeping here, guys. Didn't quite have everything set up like I wanted it to, but we will get things going here and get something added. There we go. We are at Talladega tonight here for this special edition of MaxspeedTV Friday night race that Mark Mann is sponsoring. We're going to get Mark up here real quick and have a little chat with him. Mark, Steve up here in the booth, buddy. Thanks again for sponsoring tonight. Mark Mann's Killing Time again, 250 here at Talladega, brother. Awesome time we're going to have tonight.
Heck yeah. As you can see, if you got us on practice here, we're beating and banging doors here. I hope it's not a caution fest, but I think we're going to have a lot of fun. Well, not as big of a field as last time.
No, we only got about 25, it looks like, registered so far. Now, they still have 3 minutes left to practice. But Mark is actually going to be our on-track reporter tonight as well. So we're going to visit with Mark a little bit during the race. But wanted to talk a little bit about the prizes. And it looks like you guys are tearing it up doing through the trial. We got you on the sky view, But let's talk a little bit about the prizes that we got for these guys tonight real quick. And then I also want to give a special shout-out to David Overstreet with CFM Checker Flag Motorsports for hosted tonight's race.
Heck yeah. We have a nice replica Arton Senna 25th anniversary watch to give away. We also have the choice between that and $50. Second place will win some money, $25 probably, depending on how many entries we have. And then third, and then we can pay out another position from 10th on back, $5, their money back. This was only a $5 race to enter, so we kept it really cheap.
Well, we've got 100 laps tonight here, I believe is what we've got, and it's a little shy of 250 miles, so...
Yeah,
I think last time we did this, we did the 18th spot. So
we did. So
I tell you what, Mark. Let's make this a little interesting. Why don't we give it to the last place finisher?
Well, the last place finisher, I was thinking, what if they have like connection problems or something of that nature? What about the last car on the lead lap?
Good idea. I like that idea. Last car on the lead lap will get their entry fee back. So. Yeah, I like that idea.
Well, I hope Josh is watching at home and all the great things that you've been doing for MaxspeedTV. It's needless to say, but it's much appreciated by all the communities and everything while Josh continues his recovery. And we look forward to him getting back in the booth soon so you can get back out on the track and race with us.
Well, I want to keep this going as long as I can. That way, when he is able... I've said this before, but I want him to have something to come back to. Now, when he's ready to come back, he may not be able to do as many races as he was doing before, but we're going to figure something out, Mark. But I'm going to bring David O up here real quick before you guys get to practice. Give me just a second. But we wanted to bring David O up here, give David O a special shout-out. David Overstreet, he is the owner of Checker Flag Motorsports Speedway Monkeys. He is also the one that is hosting and RCing tonight's race. So, David, special shout-out to you, buddy. Really appreciate what you do.
Yep, thank you. Thank you for broadcasting. Thanks to everybody that signed up again this week. This is Mark Mann's idea. I'm just the one that sets the races up for him. So,
that's appreciated.
Can't take too much credit for it. Just do the admin work, I guess, behind the scenes.
Well, that's still a handful to do, and I know you guys are fixing to go out for qualifying. I'm not going to keep y'all any longer, but want to give you a special shout-out, David O. I mean, I do appreciate you taking the time to set the races up and hosting, and I hope you guys have a blast out there tonight.
If it's anything like the first one we did, it's going to be an absolute blast to racing this. So can't wait to get her going here in a few minutes.
All right. Well, you guys are checkered. Good luck, and we'll get you back down
We're
to your
wreckers.
rooms. You're wrecking already. Here we go.
We were right. So we're gonna have a stage, just to let the audience know that we are gonna have a competition caution at lap 50. Now, if we get a caution between lap 40 and lap 50, I'm not going to throw anything at lap 50. I just want to make sure that the field stays packed up. We'll still have a couple of pit stops after that, but we definitely, just in case anybody runs into some bad luck early on in the race, we want to make sure that we're fair to everybody. So,
all right, we're still running 2 fast repairs, two GWCs. One fast repair.
One fast repair, and it looks like it's probably 2 green, white, checkered. I can't see that.
Well, if anything changes, let me know. But we do have 1 qual lap, and we are in qualifying right now, so we're going to get the qual times put up here. They will start rolling in here pretty soon. Well, Mark, we're going to go ahead and get you back down to the room so you can concentrate, get your qual in, and we will bring you up sometime during the race, probably a couple of times. For our on-track interview, our on-track reporting.
Sure, anytime I'm in the back, no problem. I'm not even going to qualify tonight. I'm just going to start in the back of the field and just kind of watch everything. And I got one eye on this Michigan State Ole Miss game, so I'll be watching that as well.
See.
Not while I'm looking at the track, though. I've done that before and took out the whole field.
All right, buddy. Well, good luck, and we will talk to you here in just a little bit.
Hi, thanks.
We'll put him back down there in the room that he was in. But big shout out again to all the guys tuning in, joining in tonight. Hey, Rudy Cummins out there. Rudy, good to see you, buddy. How are you doing? I hope I'm doing MaxspeedTV proud, doing these broadcasts. And I know a lot of these guys are appreciative of me stepping in for Joshua while he's out. But I believe I sent Josh a message. Let's see. Nope, he hasn't responded back yet. But I do believe. He just sent me a message. Unfortunately, he is still in the hospital. He had to go back. Was having some issues that they wanted to kind of keep an eye on. So y'all keep Josh in your thoughts and prayers, as he has still got a long road of recovery ahead of him, but times are starting to roll in. Hunter Reynolds does have that top spot right now. Let me get everything readjusted here so I can see Doug Johnson in that 388 machine, throwing down a 54.587 for the pole right now. So we'll see if he's able to hang on to that or not, as time's still rolling in. I know he would be thrilled and tickled pink to have that pole position, but still got a lot of good drivers out there, a lot of fast drivers out there still to qualify. So we'll see what happens, as he has got Hunter Reynolds down by 100th of a second. So not a big time difference there, but got him up there to the top. That's what you need. Still about a minute and a half left of qualifying to go. But right now we got 8 viewers out there. And if you're new to MaxspeedTV, guys, be sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, if you hit that bell icon, let you know to get notified every time MaxspeedTV goes live. Now, we do have a pretty busy weekend here on MaxspeedTV. Of course, we got tonight's race, the Mark Mann's Killin time again, 250. Special race that Mark set up and put together. And then we do have our OP Saturday night. And, of course, the CFM guys will be back on their regular schedule Sunday night, as Gabe Butler does jump to the Everett Lane. Again, me and Everett had a pretty good laugh about this. He is no relation to me, but he has jumped up into that top spot. So we're going to kind of keep an eye on this. Gabe Butler up in second. That knocks Doug Johnson back down to third. Hunter Reynolds fourth. John Guerrero fifth right now. Adam Kilday sitting in sixth. Jimmy Reynolds in seventh. Anthony English down to eighth. Russ Hancock in 9th, and Cole Spalding rounding out your top 10. So again, the payouts, we kind of talked about that. The winner's going to have their choice of a replica watch or $50, $25 possibly for second, and probably 10 or so, 15 for third, I think is what Mark was saying. But the last car on the lead lap will get their entry fee back. As qualifying is over, Everett Lane is going to be your pole sitter. So we're going to go ahead and bring Everett up to the booth. Everett, awesome job. Got the pole tonight with a 54.545. Man, how's things feeling out there for you?
Well, the fast lane Chevy Silverado feels pretty good tonight. I'm going to go out here and have some fun. Had a good backwind, I think, on the backstretch. Got me up on the front row.
Well, it's definitely didn't get them by much, but you got enough to get the pole, man. What are you expecting out here tonight?
Well, a lot of good drivers over here tonight. I think we're going to see some good, clean racing, I hope. Talladega takes a lot of luck to get through some of these corners and get to the checkered flag. So I'd like to have a little lady luck on my side tonight would help.
Well, you just sure got the fast-looking truck there. That spec map is looking beautiful on that truck, that Fast Lanes Racing 24. But we're going to go ahead and get you back down there. I think you were down there in 5, wasn't you, with Dean?
Yeah, no, I'm with Gabe
okay.
and Eric and them, yeah.
Okay,
Boot
down
knockers,
there.
boot knockers.
Boot knockers. All right, buddy. Well, good luck tonight. Have fun, and, man, we'll hope we see you at the end of the race.
All right, thank you.
We'll get him back down there as we get to our MaxspeedTV starting grid here. Let me get the qual times off there. Starting row 1 on the pole, that number 24 of Everett Lane. And outside of him is that number 9 of Alex Green. Second row inside the 88 of Gabe Butler. His outside, of course, 388 of Doug Johnson. Starting row 3 on the inside, the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. On his outside, the 59 of John Guerrera. Starting row 4 with 48, Andrew Schroeder. On his outside, the 85 of Adam Kilday. Starting row 5 inside, 17 of Jimmy Reynolds. To his outside, the 44 of Anthony English. Starting in row 6 on the inside, the 343 of Russ Hancock. To his outside, that 49 of Cole Spalding. Starting row 7 inside, the 29 of Luke Gray. His outside, that 36 machine of Stephen Luttrell. Starting row 8 to 55 of Dean Wilkinson. His outside, the 46, our host, David Overstreet. Starting row 9 on the inside, the 69 of Dusty Barcard. On his outside, the 89 of Joshua Cathright. Starting row 10, the 071 of Eric Laurie. His outside, the 7 of Nicholas Wing. Starting row 11, the number 4, Rick Seabrands. To his outside is that 95 of James Mayer. Starting row 12, the 81 of Dustin Logston. And then, of course, our sponsor tonight, the 04, Mark Mann, on his outside. Starting row 13, the 5 of Rick Sanchez. To his outside, Seabass, Sebastian Martin. And following up in the rear in row 14, the 27 of Mike Edgerton. Well, the pace lights are out as we coming around. Pace car on the back stretch. Coming into turn 3 and 4, the pace car will dive off down to the safety of pit road. Hit that Geico restart zone, and then we will be green flag racing, folks. Again, appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Stay tuned again tomorrow night, or come back and see us tomorrow night as the OP guys tear it up in the second race of the top 8. See who gets to qualify or gets to win. The top 4 goes on for the championship race, so we'll see what happens there. Well, there goes the pace car, folks. We're going to wait for these guys to round it up here, coming through this little triangle. Black man's looking up and down the lines, make sure everybody's in line in the Geico start zone. Green flags out just for Joshua, folks. Boogity, 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 racing Talladega. And special shout out to Mark Mann for sponsoring tonight's race. As these guys, well, the 24 of Everett Lane does get that lead. Got Gabe Butler and Hunter Reynolds right behind him. That second lane, got to get more a little organized as they're trying to catch up with the leaders. We got a truck peeking out to the outside. We're going to try to see who that was here. That was going to be back here, probably around. We do have guys falling back. Let me get my driver bar pulled up here. I believe that was the 071, or may have been the 81 of Dustin Logston. But that front, that inside line, they are on a tear. Everybody is single file now. Go ahead and show our pre-race analytics here. 5 mile an hour wind, 70-degree air temp. Track temp at 102. Not quite as hot as they usually run on Saturday nights, but it's still pretty warm out there. We've got 100 laps for 250 miles, or just shy of 250 miles. Tire window is unlimited tires, 50% fuel, pace pit road speed at 55, pace at 75. I see Belva out there in chat rooting on Sanchez. He is back here in that 23rd spot right now with this other group as they are kind of getting separated right in front of James Mayer, in between James Mayer and David Overstreet. But we are 3 wide up here. That is Adam Kilday, John Carrera. Now we're going 4 wide here, folks. That's that 4th lane. Oh, and we're wrecking already. Jimmy Reynolds involved, the 15. I believe that is Alex Green also involved. We're going to try to go back and take a look at what happened here, folks. Let's do a MaxspeedTV replay. That started right there with Jimmy Reynolds. Is who it took us to. We'll get on a rear chase here. It may have been a bad push, but we're going to find out here in just a second. Let me get my mouse over here. Get my camera turned around. Looked like Jimmy had a pretty good run right there. Oh, happened right there. We're going back here with Alex Green and Doug Johnson. It's like Alex may have kind of been on that high side. And right there, looked like maybe some, yep, definitely some contact right there with Doug. Got him spun down into Jimmy Reynolds and the 69 of Dusty Burkhart. Unfortunately, that got John Guerrero involved, Adam Kilday involved as well. Stephen Luttrell come through, probably going to have some damage as well. As Doug Johnson goes up and over, I'm trying to get a bird's eye view on him. He comes back up and hits the wall and just goes airborne. Somebody needs to tell Doug this ain't Flight Simulator. This is iRacing. No, 4 wide don't work very well here, especially with these trucks. I mean, you can do it. It's just got to be careful about how you do it. Eric W. out there in chat. Good to see you, buddy. Been a while since we seen you. I mean, I guess you were here last week, but of course not having any broadcast during the week. We don't get to see all of our fans as much, but we've got some things in the work. I'm going to get with some of the staff at MaxspeedTV and kind of talk about what we got going on and what we're going to do for future. As Everett Lane is still your leader, Hunter Reynolds in second. Russ Hancock third, Andrew Schroeder in fourth, Gabe Butler fifth, David Overstreet in sixth, Luke Gray seventh, Cole Spalding in eighth, Dusty Burkhart in ninth, Eric Laurie in 10th, Rick Sanchez in 11th, Nicholas Wing there in 12th, Stephen Luttrell 13th. Seabass, Sebastian Martin there in 14th, Anthony English 15th, James Mayer 16th. Dean Wilkerson in 17th. Mark Mann there in 18th. Dustin Logston 19th. Dustin had to use a fast repair, as did the 15 of Alex Green. Here comes Rick Seabands off of pit road. Adam Kilday still down on pit road. He is moving now. Of course, Jimmy Reynolds out there. Dude Conrad in the 8 machine coming off of pit road. So Jimmy Reynolds, Joshua Gathright coming off of pit road. Mike Edgerton still down on pit road, as well as Douglas Johnson and John Guerrera. Well, pace lights on the pace car are still on. These guys are dropping it down the apron to help save some fuel. Normal work in a boat show, yeah. May have to break out my controllers and play a little flight sim myself here after a while. Hopefully we can get this race through, as lights do go out on the pace car. Looking back, Mike Edgerton still down on pit road. Looks like Jimmy Reynolds is off of pit road. Mike Edgerton still on pit road. John Guerrera coming off of pit road as well. There goes Doug Johnson coming off of pit road. John, Doug, let's look at through here. Dustin Logston, Alex Green, all had to use their one and only fast repair. As we get back up here to the front now, that's probably going to gap our field just a little bit. Mike Edgerton is the first truck a lap down. Now they will be able to get their lap back. Mike is still down on pit road. That moves John Guerrera up to that first truck a lap down. So as long as there is, if there's another caution, as long as they're not involved, they will get the lucky dog and get back on the lead lap. So, but Everett Lane, your leader right now, as we're coming into turn 3. Again, the pace car will dive off again down to the safety of pit road. We get to the Geico restart zone. We will go back to our restart cam here in just a minute. When these guys hit that little yellow triangle, or maybe a little bit before, we will get back down there and see them come around the tri-oval there to get to the restart zone. Flag man does have the green flag in his hand. Green flags drop, folks. Here we go. Back racing again here at Talladega. Side by side racing all the way back to this pass. That looks like the 67 of Sebastian Martin Seabass. Everybody else just kind of falling in line there all the way back. Rick Seabrands. David Overstreet will start that single file. Doug Johnson back out on the track 2 laps down. Rick Seabrands right there with the Duke Conrad as well. Mark Mann. Unfortunately, I didn't see Bubba Winningham out here tonight. Looking back up to the front, Hunter Reynolds on the inside with Everett Lane, Russ Hancock. Looks like he doesn't have it. Back us out here. No, that is the 88 of Gabe Butler, the 29 of Luke Gray on that inside. Andrew Schroeder, Dusty Burkhart, Steve Luttrell, Adam Kilday, and the 446. That is, let me see if I can find that. I don't know who the 446 is. That's not Nick Wing. Nick Wing. Let's see which truck he is in. He's in the 21 machine tonight. It's supposed to be the 7. Back up. That's actually supposed to be the 5 of Rick Sanchez. We get back out here to a wider view. Schroeder, I don't know, got down to that low line in front of Hunter Reynolds. Hunter's pushing him back up towards the front. Dusty Burkhart is outside with Stephen Luttrell, Adam Kilday, Sanchez, and English on that outside line. We're back 3 wide back here again. That is Alex Green, John Guerrero, and 81 and Dustin Loxton. Now we're back to side-by-side racing, guys. Back up to the front, Andrew Schroeder, Dusty Burkhart, Hunter Reynolds, Stephen Luttrell, Everett Lane, Adam Kilday, Russell Hancock, Rick Sanchez, Gabe Butler, Anthony English, your top 10. You know, Eric, I don't think it is either, honestly. Again, looking at our track temps right now, still at 102-degree track temp. As we are back to 3 wide, that is Rick Sanchez, John Guerrero. Back out on that outside line. A little bit of bumping and just a lot of bumping going on there, folks. Again, I apologize for the loudness. I tried to turn it down before the race, but I guess I didn't get all my camera angles quite done like I wanted to, so we get back out to a little bit wider view. Lap 11, Hunter Reynolds out front. Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and do our on-track interview with Mr. Mark. Mark, how's it feel out there, buddy? On-track interview time. Track tip's a little bit high, but not too bad.
It is, and it's, you know, it's not too sketchy back here. I know that it's a little bit tough getting on the brakes if an incident happens ahead of you. You kind of have to downshift and really get on the brakes so you don't ARCA brake anybody with the hot track temps. But I like it, you know, a little hot track temp adds a little wrinkle to the race.
Well, that's definitely going to affect pit road, won't it?
It will, and I do think that we are going to get green flag pit stops tonight. I mean, we have 5 more fuel window pit stops here.
Well, what are you guys setting at on fuel laps?
So about 16 laps a tank.
Okay.
And that also depends on if you're in the pack saving or if you're up front leading. I would say if you're up front leading, you probably got more like 15.
Okay. All right. Well,
yeah. How's it going up there, bro?
So far, so good, man. You know, just a little bit of incident there at the beginning, but everybody's kind of settled back in, and well, we're back to 3 wide up to the front, so we're going to let you go. And
2, 4, 6 deep too.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm good.
So we're going to go ahead and look up here, guys. That's Anthony English, Dustin Logston, and Hunter Reynolds there on the inside. 3 wide as Dustin is getting a pretty good shove up to the front by Gabe Butler. Oh, Gabe gets a little bit, actually 81. Dustin Logston dropped it all the way down from the 3rd lane down to the bottom line. That was pretty aggressive, but, you know, he had the room.
I got a good view of it all right back here, especially going in the turn. You can pretty much see all those cars in the turn on the high banking. It's kind of it's always been a cool view back here.
Well, yeah, I've been back here myself, so I know I know what it looks like back there.
I've been back here with you.
But yeah, I mean, we're seeing a lot of wiggling going on. Is that track issue or just?
I think I think it has to do with it's just a hot track. That's why we're so snaky right now.
Okay.
I mean, when we were at Daytona and the track temps went down because we were at night, the lines looked a lot straighter than they do tonight.
Well, I mean, the lead group's doing a good job here of keeping control, but 4 wide, it's pretty tough
Ooh,
here at
yeah.
Talladega.
Yeah, I mean, it can be done. There's definitely a lane for 4 trucks, but you have to hold it. You know, you got to have elbows up.
Be a lot more stable than what it is right now.
Yeah, I don't think 4 wide's going to work tonight.
So, all right. Well, appreciate it, Mark. We're going to kind of go through our field here real quick, and we'll holler at you here in just a little bit.
Sounds good, man. Looks like we got about 6 laps left
Okay.
for our fuel window here.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of seeing on my ATVO as well. So, all right. Well, we will catch up with you here in just a little bit, Mark.
All right, brother.
All right, we got him back down in his room as we are still 3 wide up here. Hunter Reynolds, Everett Lane, Dusty Burkhart, Alex Green, they're on that inside line. Then you got Anthony English, Dustin Loxton, Stephen Luttrell, Adam Kilday. They're on that midline. Outside is that 446. Supposed to be the number 5 of Rick Sanchez, Gabe Butler, and that is Eric Laurie, and the 8 of Dude Conrad. As John Guerrero does get up to Adam Kilday, as Anthony English does drop it down that low line in front of the number 26 of Hunter Reynolds. Now, we talked to the guys before the race about who would be willing to do a on-track interview, broadcaster, you know, most of these guys were up for it, but I told them, I said, if they were in a 3 wide situation, I probably wouldn't bring them into the booth, as Anthony English is out front. Adam Kilday, looks like Adam Kilday up in front of that number 446 of Sanchez. That'll be Rick Sanchez. As Gabe Butler does shoot the gap in between these guys on that middle lane. Again, we should start seeing these guys get into more of a single file, getting ready for green flag pit stops as we are at lap 13 of this stint. Everett Grover out there. Hey, buddy. I'm just doing my normal deal up here, just trying to talk all night long if I can. We'll see. But other than that, doing pretty good, man. Glad it's the weekend. My nephew Dylan is supposed to be home this weekend. I'm really surprised he's not out there in chat. But again, I want everybody to know that about Joshua. I try to keep everybody updated. Joshua did have to go back to the hospital. They had to put a stent in the other day, sent him home. Thought he was doing good, and he started hurting real bad. And he is back in the hospital again. Hopefully, he's watching on his phone. So if you guys want to give him some good vibes and shout outs, please do that in chat. Let him know that we're all thinking about him and praying for him to get better and quit having these problems and scare at everybody. But again, I do appreciate everybody out there that is tuning in tonight, whether you're chatting it up or not. Just know that I do appreciate each and every one of you. So do these drivers out here. Jimmy Reynolds and the OP guys that got us saying, without you, there be no us. And without our fans out there in YouTube land, there would be no MaxspeedTV. And from the bottom of my heart, I do appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you very much. But looking back at the race here, guys, Anthony English still out there, led 6 laps. Adam Kilday, Dustin Loxton to the outside. Hunter Reynolds, Everett Lane, Dusty Burkhart. Down low, looking back here, Sebastian Martin falling back. He is in that 67 machine as Mark Mann, has to check up. Big checkup right there with Cole Spaulding in the 29. That is Luke Gray. But Andrew Schroeder up here. Andrew was another one that said that he wouldn't mind doing a on-track interview, so we're going to go ahead.
I think
and
some are going to try to stretch it one more,
yeah,
but a little risky.
Caught him in mid-sentence, but
oh.
Yeah, I done
sorry.
messed up your
You're good. You're good. You're good. What's
you're
up, buddy?
strategizing. Hey, just an on-track interview on broadcast. See how things are feeling to you out there.
Yeah. It's was a little dicey for a few laps there. The guys are settling out now here. We're getting ready here to do a pit stop. Let's see if I can do it while I'm talking without screwing it up. I should be able to. But I think some guys might stretch this one more lap. I don't. If a caution comes out, they're screwed. So let's see here.
We'll give you a second.
Oh yeah, it looks like a lot of guys gone here. Yeah.
Yeah, looks like
I think that
everybody's
many were
going.
gonna go.
Good
Oh,
Lord,
yeah.
looked like the whole field. Oh, a little bit of issue behind you, but well, let's talk about that pit entry though. How does that feel with the temperatures being a little high?
Little sketchy. I'm not taking tires here though. I'm only taking fuel. I feel like some are gonna take them, but it's not too bad now. It's kind of settled out. I was thinking about dropping to the back because they were getting a little racy, but that last dash, a lot of guys like to get towards the front for pits. So, but yeah, everything's good.
All right, buddy. Well, good luck and just keep going fast and turning left.
All right, brother.
All right. You was in there with Alex, wasn't you?
Yeah. Yep. Alex and Steve.
All right. We'll talk to you later, buddy.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, we caught him in mid-sentence. We knew that was bound to happen. These guys are racing off of pit road, getting back out on the track. Well, Anthony English is still your leader. That's going to spread them out just a little bit as him and Hunter did get a good jump out there, but David O. But here comes Everett Lane and Gabe Butler and Dustin Loxton making their way as David O. does come back down to pit road. I don't know if he's not liking what he was seeing or didn't get what he wanted or something as far as fuel, but he does come back down to pit road. But like I said, that's going to gap the field a little bit as Gabe Butler, or actually Dustin Loxton, is going to be your last truck on that group. Now back here, Dusty Burkhart's by himself, it looks like, about 2 seconds behind Dustin. But here comes Rick Sanchez, Dude Conrad, Adam Kilday, Rick Sebranch, James Mayer, Alex Green, Andrew Schroeder. We're going to see if they're going to pick up Dusty Burkhart. As that, you can see the car behind is closing that gap just a little over, now a little under a second as they are gaining momentum. So we're going to see if they pick him up or nope, he just slides up towards the top. Going to let these guys come by, probably drop it down as soon as he can to where he is not slowing somebody up. Here comes that 55 of Dean Wilkerson and Mark Mann. So he is going to dive it back down behind, hopefully get into that draft of Mark Mann, and he does. But here comes Joshua Gath right there, going to pick him up. And Stephen Luttrell, Luke Gray, Eric Laurie, Nick Wing, Cole Spaulding in this group. Look back up here as Rick Sebrands, Adam Kilday, Rick Sanchez is leading this group. Now, I would venture to say you're probably going to see some switching going on where that lead truck will jump up and let the back guys, the pusher, cool off a little bit because these trucks will get hot. But they are gaining on that lead group. Little under 2, or just a little over 2 seconds behind them. Unfortunately, it looks like John Guerrera has taken his truck behind the wall, as did, well, let's see, it's showing him. Nope, Seabass is still out there. He is out there with the 388 of Doug Johnson. David Overstreet has come back out. He is the first truck a lap down. Jimmy Reynolds all by himself. Getting back up to the front, Anthony English, Dustin Logston, Everett Lane, Gabe Butler, and Hunter Reynolds, your top 5 right now. A little over a 1.5 second gap. There you see the other guys, Rick Sanchez coming into frame as we were sitting there looking at Hunter. They are closing that gap, 1.2 seconds behind them. They are closing that gap quick. Kind of looking back through everybody, a single file. But here comes, that is Dean Wilkerson pushing David Overstreet back up to the front, along with Mark Mann. Now Andrew Schroeder is just right there. I think he's trying to hang back a little bit to get pushed back up, catch. That looks like the 8 of Duke Conrad. Ooh, Duke getting a little bit shaky there. Not sure what was going on with Dude on that one. Mushroom and Swiss Burger for the win. That actually sounds pretty good. We had some beer battered fish tonight with some, well, I call it the Long John Silver's malt vinegar. That's what I had for dinner. Love that stuff. We're going to jump back here. Dustin Logston, Dude Conrad, Andrew Schroeder, and David Overstreet jumped out there to that second line, trying to get something going there to get them up to the front. Dustin is getting that, closing that gap. Up to the top goes Everett Lane, the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. Going to get that run. Gabe Butler giving Anthony English a shot there. But, oh, we're going 3 wide. That is the 56 up Mike Edgerton. Going another lap down. It shows him in the 56, but he's showing 27. Looking back up the front, Anthony English, Gabe Butler, Rick Sanchez, Adam Kilday, Rick Seabranch, James Mayer, and Alex Green. On that inside line, on the outside, you've got the 24 of Everett Lane, 26 of Hunter Reynolds, the 81 of Dustin Logston, the 8 of Dude Conrad, the 48 of Andrew Schroeder, at the 46 of David Overstreet, which David is a lap down, those 71 of Eric Laurie, but trying to go 3 wide. Russ Hancock there with, looked like the 29 of Luke Gray. Decided to drop it back down in that second lane. Cole Spalding coming up behind them. For some reason, okay, he's still in it. So we are down to 27 drivers right now. We have lost John Guerrera, unfortunately, down on the pit road, taking his truck behind the walls. We're 3 wide. That is Dustin Logston and the 8 of Duke Conrad. So we are coming up on the 17 of Jimmy Reynolds. Got to watch that Jimmy stays up high enough to let these guys go by. Now Dustin Logston looking at maybe dropping it down in front of Schroeder. But no, he stays out on that third lane. Right behind him is Dude Conrad as we get these guys coming around the corners there. Turn that down just a little bit more. Got some good looking trucks out here tonight. Folks, very, very good field for a special race. Anthony English still your leader, led 15 laps, but here comes every lane to that outside with Hunter Reynolds, Andrew Schroeder. It looks like the 46 of David Overstreet getting into the mix, trying to get his lap back the hard way. Hunter Reynolds does give Everett Lane a shove out to the front of Schroeder, but you got Gabe Butler, Rick Sanchez, the pusher pushing the pusher. Yeah, that one fast repair, makes people be a little bit more patient, I think. I've run leagues with run 3 fast repairs, and guys just take a lot more chances with that than they do when they only have one. So well, here it comes, that 81 machine of Dustin Logston getting pushed by the 8 of, that is Dude Conrad. Looked like Gabe Butler looked possibly to go up to that 3rd lane, decided not to go up there. That mid-line's getting a good run through the middle of the corner. As that top side does seem to lose a little bit of momentum. Well, here comes Jimmy Reynolds to the outside. Of course, Jimmy is a lap down. He is actually the first truck now that is a lap down. So we are getting close to the pit window once again. 13 laps on this stint. We'll see what happens. As Dustin locks the Dude Conrad. Looking back here, getting a run on that outside. They got the momentum on the back on the straightaways. But coming into the corner, Dude just kind of falls back a little bit. Takes away from Dustin. Here comes Jimmy Reynolds right behind Dude. Going to try to push Dude back up in towards Dustin. Get that outside line a little bit tighter. I think they could get something going. Well, let's see. I was going to see about talking to Jimmy, but didn't get the chance to talk to him before the race to see if he would want to be interviewed, as we are lap 35 of 100. Now, like Mark said, if we don't have a caution at lap 50, he's going to throw a competition caution just to kind of get everybody back together. I was looking back here. Looked like I seen some people maybe, but coming down pit road, but everybody is still out on the track. Well, Doug Johnson and Seabass back here by themselves. As we are lap 15 coming out the back stretch, as Rick Sanchez gives Anthony English a pretty good shot right there. Hunter Reynolds there on that outside. I'm pretty sure that, well, these guys will start coming in here pretty soon. We'll see what happens here. Here comes Anthony English. Now they do have to pit from that low line. They cannot pit from that outside, as Anthony has to lock it up. Let's get over here and see who all has pitted. That's David Overstreet, Russ Hancock, Cole Spaulding, Luke Gray, Rick Sanchez, Dude Conrad. As Jimmy Reynolds is making his way. Adam Kilday, your current leader. But these guys will be pitting probably coming around as these are coming out. Here comes, that's Doug Johnson and look like sea bass. But here comes that big group we were talking about, the leaders, Adam Killday, Gabe Butler, Everett Lane, Rick Seabrands, Hunter Reynolds, Andrew Schroeder, James Mayer, Dustin Longston, Eric Laurie, Nick Wing, Alex Green, Joshua Gathright, Dean Wilkinson. That's looked like that was a 69 of Dusty Burkhart. Oh, Mike Edgerton having issues. Looks like he has got some major damage to his truck, and he is going to tow back to pit lane. So he must have tagged the wall. Adam Killday is your leader. Well, we'll try to get, I know Hunter said he would be willing to do a live on-track report for us. So let's see if we can get him up there to the broadcast booth. Hunter, Steve up in the booth, man, on-track report time. Are you able to talk?
Yes, sir. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. Everything's looking. Couple green flag pit stops for you guys. How's things feeling? How's the pit road entrance?
Yeah, the truck's nice and smooth. Track time's pretty hot, but getting under the brakes, getting into pit road's actually not that bad. Got the brakes warmed up going in there. I think there was a little contact below me, but hey, we got a good stop. We're rolling right now.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are doing great. Looks like it's a lot of fun out there. How's now? I don't have the voice chat on, so how's everybody's attitudes? Everybody seem to be getting along, and
Overall, yeah, haven't had any issues. We had the caution earlier, but since then everything's kind of settled down, and we're having some hard racing, but it's nice and clean. Hopefully, I know we're gonna have a caution here for stage, but man, having that little breakaway up front was a really good confidence booster for me and the boys.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I was going to ask your dad if he wanted to come up, but I didn't get a chance to talk to him before the race. So if he's willing to talk, just have him let me know.
All right, yeah, I can check in for you.
Right.
He's been having a rough time. I think he's hoping to get this caution and get his lap back eventually. So
Yeah, he is actually the third truck a lap down right now, so we'll see what happens. Well, good luck, buddy. We're going to let you go.
thank you. Talk to you later.
All right, bud. Get him back down there. That's kind of good to get these guys up here for an on-track interview. We're going to kind of see if, well, Anthony English is back here, but, you know, a lot of these guys will talk to you. Some of them, they don't want to be bothered during the race, and I understand that. I mean, you got to concentrate on what's going on around you, be aware of your surroundings. Some of these guys could do it really well, and, well, some guys can't. They just don't want to be bothered. So, but it is what it is. Again, we still have 27 drivers left in the field. Well, we're going to go ahead and do this a little early. I usually wait till a little bit later, but we're going to go ahead and do it right now. Well, hang tight, folks, because, well, it's time for a little bit of, crank it up, here on MaxspeedTV at Talladega. folks, welcome back. Hope everybody enjoyed that little bit of Crank It Up. As we get up here, Hunter Reynolds falling back towards the back. Not sure if he's having truck issues or if he's trying to get something going on that outside line. It looks like he's trying to get caught. Dustin Logston and Rick Sanchez get that third lane up and going. Kind of keeping an eye on everything here on Discord to see if maybe Jimmy would want to talk to us, but Jimmy's struggling right now to get his lap back. We're going to check on him, see where he's at. He is out here by himself, and we're going to get on a driver bar here, see what he is doing. He's only running about 173 mile an hour. Well, let's take a look to see if he still has some damage on his truck. We do have a little bit of scrapage there on his side. Looks like he does have some rear end damage there as well. Now he still has a fast repair. He has that scrapage on his right side as well. I'm not seeing really any front end damage to speak of. Looks like he does have a little bit of toe knocked out of that right front. We're going to go ahead and get back out on a wider view here. Look back up to the front. James Mayer, your new leader. We're going to go ahead and pull up our caution tab here. One caution out of 46 laps. For 3 laps, we are at 55 to go. 20 lead changes, folks, for tonight. As James Mayer, your current leader, led a lap already. Now he's going to the stand on that inside line. Going to get a shot here by Anthony English. As Jimmy Reynolds is staying up high to let these guys get by him. As David Overstreet does get around him. Now he did go another lap down, unfortunately. He needs to get in with this a draft pack somewhere, whether it be in the back or up here at the front. Looking at that 67 machine of Sebastian Martin. Mark Mann right behind him again. A big shout out to Mark. He got all of this together, provided the prizes and everything. So we'll talk to Mark again here in a minute. Now Gabe Butler took the lead over from James Mayer. So you got Gabe Butler, Mayer, English, Kilday, Green, Lane, Laurie, Spalding, Loxton, Gray, your top 10 right now. Well, let's go ahead and we're going to go on board with Mr. Everett Lane here. Where is my cockpit? We're going to get a view of what he sees. We're going to go ahead and do our onboard. And I know he said we could pull him up. So we're going to go ahead and pull him up. Everett, hope I didn't scare you, buddy. Kind of tight pack where you're in right now. How's things feeling to you, brother?
I'm feeling pretty good. Just trying to stay clean and not run into anybody.
We're on board with you right now, looking out your front window. You know, we are seeing a lot of snaking going on. Is that contributed to driver control or track temps? Or what do you think's causing it?
Well, a lot of track temp. These things are getting hot, and they're pretty hard to cool off tonight for some reason. Track temperature's like 102, so we're running with some high temperatures tonight, and I think everybody's trying to keep them cool so we don't blow up here in the front of the pack.
All right, well, we're going to let you go. You guys are 3 wide right there. Good luck, buddy. I know you guys are going to be ready for some more green flag pit stops here in a minute, so good luck.
All right, thank you.
Get back out here on a wider view. We heard from Everett Lane. I hope you guys are liking these in-car and on-track interviews we're doing. Got to give a shout out to these guys. I mean, it's not easy to do driving and having an interview during mid-race, but we'll see what happens here. we're going to go ahead and get that on board off of there. But Dustin Loxton, now your leader, led a couple of laps already, so good to see him. I know he had his win last Saturday, I believe, which got him into the playoffs or into the round of 4 for the championship race. So I know he was pretty excited about that. As there is the caution come out, that is going to be that competition caution that Mark Mann talked about. These guys will still race it up to get back around to the pace car. Dustin is going to have to get back up towards the front because I believe he was the leader at the time of the caution. Wow, Eric. So we're going to go ahead and let's bring up Mr. Mark Mann again. Mark, Steve up here, man. How's things going?
It's going pretty good. I mean, we got to that stage. I was going to throw the caution at the end of 51, and we did. But if we had had a caution between lap 40 and 50, we weren't going to throw it. So that gives some people the opportunity to get 4 fresh tires, fill it up with fuel. Whoever got the lucky dog, just kind of get everybody packed up again and for this second half stretch here.
So just doing lucky dogs, no waiver rounds or anything like that, or is that something you guys even talked about?
Yeah, no, we basically kept everything OP and checkered flag rules.
Okay.
It makes everything, the continuity of it. I mean, everybody out here races in both series.
Yeah, it's just something that guys are used to, and I mean, they're not used to stages like this, but I know some of these guys are thankful that it's there.
They are, and if we go back to Daytona, I probably won't do that because I love Daytona and a lot of strategy comes into play, and I just figured tonight, since it wasn't as big of a field, and people paid to get in here, so if they're having a little bit bad luck early in the race, you have an opportunity to make that up here in the second half, and we have plenty of pit stops left, so should be interesting.
Yeah, and we were doing pretty good. I got my cup of coffee over here, and it got a little hot in here with both of these. I got 2 gaming PCs going, so it gets pretty warm in my office with the door closed. So
I bet.
Got my little fan going. I'm in pretty good shape over here, just enjoying some good. This is probably some of the better racing that I have seen out of these guys really in a while.
I mean, everybody here's raced with each other, so we kind of know each other pretty well. There's no reason why we can't go 3 wide cleanly, for the rest of this run. Hopefully we do.
Well, unfortunately, we have lost one driver. John Guerrero did take his truck behind the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So I hate it for John because he's been having a pretty rough stretch here lately.
Well, it seems like he disconnects pretty early. I don't know if he gets frustrated, but hopefully everything's all good, Joe, if you're watching, and hope you get back into the next one.
But other than that, I mean, everybody seems to be enjoying themselves. The fans are getting a bird's eye view, so to speak. We've been going in the cockpits of some guys. Got to go in the cockpit with Everett and get a little bit of on-track reporting from Everett on what he was feeling out there. So
nice. Has David Overstreet been in, or Andrew?
Andrew has. I haven't brought David up. David was battling to try to get his lap back, but he has got his lap back. So we'll probably bring him up here in just a minute and visit with him a second. So
yeah, he did get the lucky dog. That's cool.
Yeah,
and that was the reason for the stage caution. If you're having bad luck in the first half, you have a whole nother half a race to make that up.
Yeah, and it looks like Doug Johnson's going to get one of his back. He stayed out for the waiver round, so he'll get one of his laps back, and then we'll have to go from there, man.
Yeah, track temp's pretty hot. I think we'll be all right, though. I think this is going to be a fun second half of the race. Hoping to finish in the money tonight.
Well, let's hope so. But track temps actually dropped from 102 down to 99, so
Oh, okay, cool.
that might help you guys out a little bit with some with a little bit of traction and some control.
I'm hoping so. I'm not going to be making any moves until probably late in this run. I don't want to be all the way back here when we get to that next fuel cycle, though, that next pit stop, because the way these guys pit now, I mean, they're so fast. If you're way in the back and you're a second and a half off, you're just going to get nuked.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, Bubba Whittingham's joining us out there in chat.
Awesome.
I extended the invite out to him last week when he got out of the race a little early, but he's more than welcome to jump in here in the booth with me and help me call the rest of the race if he wants to.
I think Bubba went on a trip this weekend.
Oh.
He was messaging me. But if at any time he's home and not racing and wants to get in the broadcast booth, I think Bubba would be an awesome addition.
Oh, I think he would be too, and I'd love to have him up here if he ever wanted to be up here. So,
well spoken. Bubba's an awesome dude, man.
Well,
inspiration.
Yeah, the pace car has dived off down to the safety of pit road as we come to the Geico restart zone once again. Guys are coming around the tri-oval. Flag man is looking up and down the line. Make sure everybody is set up where they're supposed to be. Does have the green flag in his hand. And he has dropped it right there. Green flag. Oh.
That was a big checkup.
Yeah, it was. We seen that. That was right there where we were up on the front, or on the restart cam, but it showed a big checkup on that inside line.
That was an accordion for sure.
So, but yeah, man, it's looking back through. I mean, we're bunched back up. Jimmy Reynolds, he's trying to get back up and get his lap back to Hardway now. He did have some damage to his truck. Mark, are you anywhere close to him where you can see his truck?
I'm not. I'm kind of in the middle between the front pack and the back pack, keeping a little gap so Rick can get up here and push me so we don't lose that draft, because Rick got involved in that checkup as well.
Oh, wow.
We all did.
Yeah,
looks like dude Conrad put his truck behind the wall. It's a bummer. Always awesome to race,
yes.
dude.
He did. He was running pretty good too.
I think he said he had to go to work.
Oh man. Well, life is a little more important than a simulator, but we understand.
Mm-hmm. I'd say it takes precedent.
Oh yeah, yep.
I always feel like iRacing, especially in the leagues, it's almost like being in a bowling league or dart league or some sort of league, except it's a simulation league.
Well, I've been in a bowling league, and of course, I don't have it. I let my membership lapse, but I did have my pro card there for a little while in bowling.
Oh, how many 300s have you rolled?
0.
Oh wow.
It's not as easy as everybody says. Now I've had 290s. I've had several 299s.
Wow.
But that 300 has eluded me. So, now if you're talking about 9-pin no tap, I lost count.
9-pin no, I have no idea what that is.
So basically, if you knock down 9 pins, you get a strike.
Gotcha.
But my highest 3-game series was a 796, which is really, to get an 800 series without having a 300 game is probably harder to do than getting a 300 game.
Oh wow.
So, and I almost did it, but I was having a good night. I think I shot a 278, 269, and a 240 something or something like that. It was something weird, but I was 4 pins shy of getting an 800 series.
Now, in your opinion, what is the best bowling movie?
Oh God.
It could be a comedy.
I would have to say the best bowling movie would probably be The Big Lebowski.
Heck yeah, the dude.
Yeah,
You know
close second has got to be Kingpin.
it. Yeah, I was thinking of both of them as well.
So
Great movies.
But you know, it's hard to compete with these national touring guys, even on the regional tour, which what I was doing. It's hard to compete if you don't have sponsors, you know, because
Mm-hmm.
I went to several of the tournaments, you know, and you spend more money going to these things because you're paying for your trip, you're paying for your motel, you're paying for your gas,
Yup.
paying for your food, and it's not cheap to bowl in these tournaments. Even as a member, it costs me $280-something a tournament.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
So you know, these guys that are on the national tour, you know, they've got all these sponsors, plus they're sponsored by the bowling companies that make the bowling balls, so they get all this equipment.
Sure.
And you know, and a high-end bowling ball is going to run you almost $300.
Wow.
And right now I'm sitting on, oh Jesus Christ, I lost count. I probably got 14 bowling balls.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Now, how many pound bowling ball do you use?
I throw 14 because I've got
Mhm.
some wrist issues that don't allow me. I could throw 15, but not for very long. But
Well, what's the typical poundage for like a pro?
usually 16.
Okay.
That's the highest weight that they can go on a bowling ball. So these guys, and there's guys that are still throwing 16-pound balls. There's one guy that bowls on the PBA 50 tour, Hall of Famer Norm Duke, who is probably 60 years old, 65 maybe, and he's still throwing a 16-pound ball.
Wow.
So
So you throw it 6 times, and you know you've thrown 100+ pounds.
yeah,
That's a lot.
Well, I mean, think about it too. I'm throwing a 14-pound ball. You're still,
Yes.
but it's just, you know, these guys are athletes, just like these, you know, you guys, the race car drivers. You know, those guys got to stay in shape because being out here in these vehicles, you know, granted we're in a simulator, but you know, these guys that are running these trucks in real life,
Oh yeah.
you know, they have to be in shape because they're out here. Even though the air temperature and track temperature may be low, it's still 200+ degrees in these race cars.
Right. Right.
So you got to be in shape to do this. You know.
That's why it's for the young.
Exactly.
Us old guys, we have to be in a simulator with a fan blowing on us,
Yep. Well, you know,
or
and
the window open with sipping a cup of coffee.
Exactly. Well, you know, we were talking about this before the race. You know, next week I'll turn 50, and that's the reason why not this Sunday, but next Sunday, it's you know, the Sunday race I sponsored. It's going to be you know, Steve's birthday bash. So
Awesome.
yeah, so that actually puts me where I could go bowl with the seniors on the PBA 50 tour if I wanted to pick that back up. But honestly, I haven't touched my bowling equipment in over a year.
Now that's a milestone 50. That's half a century.
I know it. Don't remind me.
I'm pushing it too, bro.
Well,
I got a few years and I'll be there.
Looks like we got some movement up here. Rick Sanchez going to the outside with Gabe Butler, Andrew Schroeder making it 3 wide. Trying to get pushed up to the front there, Mark.
We are approaching our green flag pit stop within 6 laps, so it'll be interesting. I think that this pit stop, if we get it, will separate the field, and then it'll be on the cusp of making it 2. If you're leading, you're not going to make it in 2 stops.
Right.
So right now it's maximum fuel save for me. I can do about 5 laps. I know I'm giving away everything, but I don't care. Having fun.
Well, have fun. We're going to call some of this action real quick,
All right,
buddy.
brother.
And we'll holler at you here in just a little bit.
Yep, I was down there with Rick and Jim and Anthony and Adam.
Gotcha. All right, we move him back down there as we are 3 wide. Up here at the front, Gabe Butler, Andrew Schroeder, Jimmy Reynolds on the outside, Hunter Reynolds, Eric Laurie, David Overstreet, and it looks like that is the, who is that? That is the 36 of Stephen Luttrell. Of course, on the inside, you've got the 446, actually supposed to be the 5 of Rick Sanchez, Adam Kilday, Everett Lane, Anthony English. It looks like Alex Green on that inside. Oh, wow. Well, I'm actually planning my first NASCAR race trip this year. Going to go to Kansas. Going to meet up with some guys that I run with on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. Fortunately for me, my in-laws live in Topeka, which is about an hour, probably about an hour, maybe 45 minutes away from the racetrack. So we're going to find out if we're going to stay on the track or right there by the track, or if we're going to drive on into Topeka and watch the race. So, but as we're getting ready, you heard Mark getting ready for our green flag pit stops. We're going to see what happens. Bubba, I hope you are enjoying your family trip. I think that's what Mark said. You was on a family trip. Hope you are, or with family. So hope you are doing well, brother, having fun. Kind of wish you was around. Like I said, would love to have you up here in the booth with me. It looks like they're going to try to stretch it another lap before they go on the pit stop. But yeah, my wife, I met her. Mama told me not to go. But yeah, I met my wife when I was on active duty at Fort Riley. And man, that's been, we got married in 1994, so that's been almost 31 years ago this year, this December, that we've been married. So, well, I'm kind of looking back here. I'm not seeing anybody coming down pit road. Everybody is still hanging out there. Probably going to be one of those that everybody is going to go when the leader goes. But you do see them getting into the single file line. Going back here, Jimmy Reynolds out there with Mark Mann, Dusty Burkhart still on the outside. All jacked up out there. What's up, brother? And how's Miss Belva tonight? I know you hollered at you here a little bit earlier. Mark right now is sitting in 8th place, as we've seen some guys coming down pit road. I was trying to see who that was. That was Mike Edgerton and Jimmy Reynolds coming down pit road. Hunter is your leader right now, though. The 81 truck is looking slow. Well, he is actually back here. He was actually pushing up towards the front there a little bit. But these guys are getting ready. Here they come. Here comes that big group coming down pit road now, led by Hunter Reynolds. Of course, Dustin Loxton, Dusty Burkhart. Let me see if I can get on somebody here. We're on Dustin now. Eric Laurie, Dusty Burkhart, Josh Gathright, David Overstreet, Stephen Luttrell, Luke Gray, Cole Spalding, Russ Hancock, Adam Kilday, Andrew Schroeder, Hunter Reynolds, Gabe Butler, Alex Green. Here comes Mike Edgerton. As Hunter does come off of pit road, currently in 7th, or 6th. But Dean Wilkerson's leading this other pack. They're going to be coming down pit road now. Well, as a caution comes out, these guys are going to have to, the pit lane closed on them. So they were going to have to come out, but unfortunately they got caught where they couldn't. Well, let's see if we can figure out what happened. Oh, that was Andrew Schroeder. That's who it took me to. Looks like Andrew spun his tires, went out on the track. Well, that sent David Overstreet up hard into the outside wall. Netsby. Well, probably didn't change tires. Let me go back live here as David Overstreet's coming around. Our track temp has fallen down to 97 degrees. Good to see Netsby out there. Bubba out there chatting it up with everybody as well as Eric. Too much horsepower. Well, we're going to go ahead and we'll wait till Bubba gets done. Now, Bubba does have, or not Bubba, David does have does have a fast repair. Unfortunately, he does have a black flag. So we'll see what happens with that. Absolutely, Eric's right. If you haven't, please hit that like button. Or as Eric likes to say, lick that like button. And I know I've said this before, and I do appreciate all of our viewers out there tuning in. All the ones that are pretty much tuning in every time we go live. But if you haven't subscribed to MaxspeedTV, be sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell icon, let you get notified every time we do go live. As David Overstreet's coming back out, we're going to go ahead and we'll bring David O up here. David, buddy, bad break right there. You look like you were trying to avoid the spin out by Andrew and kind of got loose yourself.
Yeah, the tires are super hot, and when I went to do the evasive move, I just lost it. So it's all good.
Yeah, Bubba's out there in chat. I know he's rooting you on, teammates with Checker Flag Motorsports, but man, just wanted to kind of get an idea of how things were going, how it was feeling out there. You know, the track tip has dropped a little bit, though, so was hoping that would give y'all a little bit more grip.
I hadn't changed tires that whole race, so that was probably part of the problem there. So
old
I got
tires.
4 tires now, so we're all good now.
All right.
Back on the lead lap, so.
Well, that's good. I know you were having a rough stretch there. You're trying to get it back the hard way, and well, you got it back on that caution brake, so. But
yeah, I had changed some graphic settings too, and my pit road sign didn't move, so I missed my pit that first time. So.
Oh. Well, unfortunately,
I got that fixed under that caution, so.
Yeah, well, you had to use your fast repair, so that's got to be careful the rest of the race, brother.
Oh yeah, we'll try to keep our eyes out. So.
All right, man. Just wanted to get you down here real quick. Good luck, man, and we'll see you after a while.
All right, thanks, and tell Bubba say hey.
Will do, buddy. Well, there you have it, folks. David Overstreet, Bubba. I'm sure you're watching and heard him. I know you're rooting on your teammate out there. Well, let's take a look here at our leaders. Hunter Reynolds is your leader right now. Rick Sanchez, Netsby's out there rooting on Rick in that 446. The number 5. Adam Kilday in 3rd. Gabe Butler 4th. Dustin Loxton in 5th. Everett Lane having a good race. Started pole. Still in the top 10. Eric Lowry in 7th. Alex Green 9th. Alex Green at 8th. Dusty Burkhart 9th. And Stephen Luttrell rounding out your top 10 right now. Dean Wilkerson is the first truck a lap down. Jimmy Reynolds got one of his laps back, so he's still a lap down. And, of course, Mike Edgerton, unfortunately, 9 laps down. Well, Duke Conrad, Doug Johnson, and John Guerrero have taken their trucks behind the wall. We're down to 25 drivers. God. Oh, Eric W. and Everett out there, you guys crack me up. Well, pace car dies off down into pit road. We get on our restart cam. Flag man does have the green flag in his hand. We come to the Geico restart zone once again. Lap 72 of 100. Green flag back out. We are racing here at Talladega. The Mark Mann's killing time again. 250. Presented by MaxspeedTV. Stephen Lane up here in the booth as usual. Of course, we are all still thinking about Joshua back in the hospital, unfortunately. Getting the help he needs, getting them to look at what they need to look at. So, again, you guys out there, be sure you keep him in your thoughts and prayers. That he beats this, gets back out on the mic. I know everybody out on the track, these guys miss him, as do I. I would much rather be racing, but, you know, I've got to keep this, guys. I've got to keep this going as long as I can for Joshua. Definitely want him to have something to look forward to as we are going 3 wide. That is the 29 of Luke Gray, along with the 343 of Russ Hancock. They decided not to go 3 wide, dropped it back down to that second lane. Hunter Reynolds still out front with Rick Sanchez on his outside, battling it out for the lead right now. Adam Kilday right on the bumper of Hunter Reynolds, as is Gabe Butler on the bumper of Rick Sanchez. Well, I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm doing the best I could do. I'm getting better at it, getting better with the controls, getting better with the ATVO and the setups. Oh, we are bumping Mark Mann right there with the 343 of Russ Hancock going door to door. As we are back 3 wide, that is Gabe Butler on the outside with the 24 of Everett Lane. Trying to get on Gabe. There we go. Luke Gray, Russ Hancock on that 3rd line. But, man, that inside, that second lane is getting a great run right now with Sanchez, Alex Green, and the 36 of Stephen Luttrell. Sanchez does drop it down in front of Hunter Reynolds. But getting a good push there on that outside line. Gabe Butler door to door with Alex Green, 24 of Everett Lane, right there with him. We are still 3 wide. Looks like about 4 rows deep. Maybe a little bit more. If these guys can get a little bit more organized on that outside line, I think they're going to have more of a run. But got to get that tightened up. Just like you see Stephen Luttrell up on the bumper of Alex Green and Mark Mann right there with the 36 of Stephen Luttrell on that inside line. Sanchez, Reynolds, Kilday, Logston trying to get something going. Here comes Eric Lowry, the 071 with them. The 55 of Dean Wilkerson shooting the gap there, trying to get caught up with Mark Mann. Get something going. Gabe Butler drops it down in front of that 343 of Russ Hancock. These guys can tighten it up. Now, these trucks will get hot quick, as Everett was talking about earlier. They do get hot, but it's hard to cool off right now. But DEI paint scheme up front at Dega. Yep. Okay. You're crazy, Everett. Well, I agree. All is right with the world right now. I got my fan going. I got my coffee. And we got racing on the big screen here in front of me. These guys are making it around turn number 4, coming to the tri-oval. We're going to get a shot of this. Well, we'll do it the next time by because I couldn't find my mouse. We get a shot of that restart cam whenever they come around turn 4. Good battle right now between Sanchez and Green. Ooh, a little bit of dooring going on. Still good, clean racing. Mark Mann out in the mix as well, trying to get Steven up there closer to Alex. That midline does have a pretty good run, but looky here, Everett Lane, again, no relation to me. Telling you that right now. We talked about, had a good lap about that earlier. Everett, and that is Jimmy Reynolds. Jimmy's trying to get his lap back the hard way. Now, Jimmy still has not used his fast repair, so that little mid-race caution, the competition caution, sure helped Jimmy out, get him back up towards the front. Probably got a little more damage fixed that he had. But trying to get that outside line going. If those 4 trucks can tighten it up, as Jimmy does dive it down a little bit onto that 36. No, we haven't made any picks tonight, but I see that you are rooting for Mark Mann. I know Nespy's out there rooting for Rick Sanchez. Rick is your leader, but here comes Everett Lane. Now, Everett was our pole sitter tonight. Going to get a push there by the 15 of Alex Green. As we come to the tri-oval here, we're going to get this restart cam. Watch this, guys. They are going to be flying across that start-finish line, coming right at you through your TV. And we are 3 wide here. That is the 17 of Jimmy Reynolds, the 55 of Dean Wilkinson, the 343 of Russ Hancock, and here comes the 49 of Cole Spalding to that outside, along with the 29 of Luke Gray. Now, I did see a truck backing off there. I don't know who that was. Where did my mouse go? What are you doing way over there? But here we are, 3 wide, 5 rows deep. Here we go. We are over the flag stand as these guys come through. Jimmy is kind of backing it off a little bit. Been out here 11 laps. We are at 20 to go. They can only get about 15 laps, so they're going to try to go as far as they can. As Everett Lane does take his shot out to the front, Sanchez right behind him, going to give him a big shove in the middle of that turn. Going to try to keep him pushed out towards the front. Coming to the tri-oval. Here we go, folks. Everett Lane on the inside. Alex Green on the second lane. Going to see what happens. Everett looks like he's going to lead another lap. That'll be his 9th lap led. That would be pretty cool. That would have a MaxspeedTV billboard out there. That would be pretty cool. Everett does jump up to that second line. Going to get a shot there from Alex Green. But here comes Sanchez and Hunter Reynolds, Adam Kilday on the inside. Dustin Loxton, Eric Laurie, Dusty Burkhart, all on that low line. And then you got Everett Lane, Alex Green, Stephen Luttrell, Mark Mann, Gabe Butler, Russ Hancock. It looks like Luke Gray as well, as I do see a truck driving down to pit road. That is Jimmy Reynolds. Richard Roberts out there in chat. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, Richard. Excuse me. Yes, they should be able to make it. They're getting about 16 laps on a tank of fuel. So if they pit with 15 to go, they should make it to the end of the race. I wouldn't. It also depends on how much they save, if they're able to save any. It's getting close, Eric, because we've been out here 14 laps. Now, Schroeder, he's been out 16 laps. Kind of looking through, and Mike Edgerton as well, but Mike is now coming down off of pit road. Looks like he did get some fuel. We're going to keep an eye on our leaders here to find out if they're going to, again, they're going to try to take this as far as they can take it before pitting. Sorry, got a tickle in my throat. No, the two lead trucks are not getting any good fuel mileage at all. Alex does drop it down in front of the 24 of Everett Lane. That's going to put, that is the 36 of Stephen Luttrell on the outside with Mark Mann. Les Levy out there. Hey, Les, how you doing? Good to see you, buddy. Another one of the CFM guys, Les Levy out there. Richard Roberts, I know the name, but I'm not placing where I know you from, bud. You'll have to remind me, because my memory ain't as good as it used to be. Andrew Schroeder, I see him dropping off down into pit road. He been out here 17 laps, so he was not going to be able to make it. Now we are at 15 to go. We're probably going to see the leaders probably here pretty soon going down pit road. Been out here 16 laps. Oh, okay. Motor City, Big Detroit. Well, let me make sure that I am on live. But here we go. We're going to come around, see if Alex is going to lead them down into the pit road. We'll find out. No, but got Andrew Schroeder that come down. Jimmy Reynolds still a lap down. Mike Edgerton. Stephen Luttrell is now your leader as Mark Mann goes up high. Jimmy Reynolds dives down to the apron to let these guys get around him. Mark Mann falling back. He's going to try to see, probably try to get where he can get down to that low line. But here we go. It's probably going to come down to this right here. Are they going to pit or are they going to keep going? Here they come. Everybody is coming down pit road that can. Again, they have to pit. Oh, we're going to have a caution right here as the 69 and 343 get connected. Gabe Butler, Stephen Luttrell both got black flags, but here's the caution. That was what we were just seeing. We caught that as they were coming down pit road. We're going to do a rewind here on this as we are on Dusty Burkhart. Now, what I want to see, though, I'm going to back this up a little bit more because you see the 343 in front. Now, they're not supposed to. Let me turn. Ooh, that is loud. Well, here is some of the stuff you guys normally don't see, but we are going to turn this down. So they are on the second line. Now Dusty does drop it down with Russ Hancock. But unfortunately, not sure. They're supposed to not be able to do that, but that brings out a caution with 13 to go. That is going to change the landscape of everything as far as our leaders are concerned. But Dustin Loxton is coming out of pit road as your leader. Nicholas Wing there is second. Seabrands in fourth or third. Anthony English fourth. Russell Hancock currently in fifth. Dusty Burkhart in sixth. Andrew Schroeder seventh. Everett Lane right now in eighth. Okay. We used to work together. You and Les used to work together, or me and you used to work together? Well, I'm definitely challenged to go fast, so. Well, I've seen some black flags out there. Nicholas Wing, Dustin Loxton, David Overstreet, all with black flags. Oh, good. Now, Eric, you're going to have that song stuck in my head the rest of the night. I got you. I got you. Well, glad to have you here, Richard. Definitely enjoy having our viewers here and engaging with us as we are winding down, getting to the final 10 laps. I am literally in my head, come together right now over me. That's why I'm not a professional singer. Well, that's going to change up our whole leadership right here. As Dustin did come out of the pit road in first. Well, now Russ Hancock is going to be your leader. I'm looking here at the 36. Russ Hancock does dive down to pit road once again. With 11 to go, they do have enough. Rick Seabrands with the black flag. Anthony English with the black flag. Nicholas Wing with the black flag as well. We get a couple of cars getting their wave around. Looked like that was, well, who was that? That was Gabe Butler getting waved around the pace car. He's back on the lead lap. Currently the last car on the lead lap. So we'll see what happens there. Again, the last car on the lead lap, no matter what position they're in, will get their $5 entry fee back. Here come the old flat top. Well, your pole sitter, the number 24 of Everett Lane, is your leader. He will be on the inside line with Andrew Schroeder. To his outside, Alex Green, Hunter Reynolds, Adam Kilday, Luke Gray. That is your top 6 right now. As lights on the pace car are out, we are going to be 9 to go at the line. Yeah, unfortunately, not sure why they got them. All it shows is there is black flags given, so looks like Dustin Logston and Mike Edgerton will have to serve theirs on the green as we come to the Geico restart zone. Hopefully for the last time with 10 to go. Flagman's got the green flag in the air. Flag drops, back green flag racing. 9 to go at the line, folks. Who's going to win it? We get back out. Ooh, big wiggles, big movements there. Adam Kilday, Andrew Schroeder, Cole Spalding on the outside. Well, Andrew is getting a push by that 85 of Adam Kilday. Now, Alex Green does jump out to the outside, going to get a shove by Andrew Schroeder. Everett fast lane. Well, yeah, fast lane racing. Again, he is no relation to me. We had a big chuckle about that. Which, if he wins this race, I'm going to probably claim him as a relative. So we'll see what happens. We come to the start-finish line. We will be at 8 to go. And we're wrecking. Well, that's probably what I would do. So he's probably some related to me somehow. Let's take a look at this, folks. We're going to go ahead and rewind that. Uh-oh. I don't know why that's back up. But it was. Actually, I'll tell you a story about that here in a second. Let's get back here and see what happened. If it was a bad push by Hunter or what. But James Mayer with the meatball, Everett with the meatball, and Alex Green with the meatball. Oh, Alex come down. Looked like maybe a bad push from Andrew. Andrew kind of got him down, maybe come back up and got him on that left rear bumper, sent Alex down, and then Alex and Everett both hard up into the wall. James Mayer got a piece of that. Unfortunate for James. Well, that looks like that's going to end Alex's night, because he does not have a fast repair. Unfortunately. Alex has taken his truck behind the wall. But Everett and James both have meatballs. My wife just brought me a fresh cup of coffee, and that air conditioning came blowing through. Man, it got cold in here quick. So I do have a aunt whose maiden name, you know, of course, Lane, but her first name is Lois. So yeah, I guess technically, I guess you could say I'm related to Lois Lane. And if you ask me, my uncle is a real Superman. He was a Vietnam vet, Marine Corps, and he is a true hero. So, yeah. Yeah, it did look like the 15, well, it looked like the 48 was pushing him, got him pushed off center, and as he was trying to get centered back up, he may have scraped his bumper on that left side, on that left bumper, and it shot him down into the inside, Richard, is what it looked like to me. Well, right now, your leader is going to be Hunter Reynolds. Unfortunate for Everett. He was having a great race. But Andrew Schroeder in second, Luke Gray third, Adam Kilday fourth, Eric Laurie fifth. Well, that's going to put Cole Spalding in sixth, Joshua Gathright in seventh, Dusty Burkhart eighth, Nicholas Wing ninth, Mark Mann in 10th. Rick Seabrand's just outside of the top 10 in 11th. Anthony English 12th, Dustin Loxton 13th, Stephen Luttrell 14th, Gabe Butler back to 15th, James Mayer 16th, Dean Wilkinson 17th, Russ Hancock 18th, Rick Sanchez first truck a lap down in 19th, Jimmy Reynolds in 20th, and David Overstreet 21st. Everett Lane still on pit road in 22nd. Alex Green unfortunately done for the night. Looks like Seabass is still down on pit road as well. And then Mike Edgerton is your 25th driver still in the race. Well, with the pace lights off, we're going to stick with this right here, but I mean, he very well could have moved down, trying to get centered up, help Andrew maybe get centered up, and just unfortunate for Alex and for Everett, because both of them guys was having some really good races. They both were running really good, so. But here we go, coming down the backstretch into turn 3. The pace car will drop off into pit road. Hunter Reynolds going to be your leader on the inside. Yes, it has. We're going to go ahead and look at that real quick. Down to 90-degree track temperature, so definitely a good temperature for the finish of the race. Looking at our cautions, 5 cautions for 9 laps. Again, we'll be at 5 to go at the line. 46 lead changes so far tonight, folks. Been a really good race, honestly. Probably, like I said, probably one of the better ones I've seen in a while. Very rarely will you see a super speedway go green to checkered, but I'm not saying it can't happen. But here we go, back to the restart. Green flag in the flagman's hand once again as we come to the Geico restart zone. Green flag in the air. Here we go, finishing up. 5 to go at the line, folks, here at Talladega. Mark Mann's killing time again, 2:50. Hunter Reynolds, your leader. Andrew Schroeder to the outside with Adam Kilday and the 49 of Cole Spalding. On that inside, you have Hunter Reynolds, a 29 of Luke Gray, the 071 of Eric Laurie. Well, here comes the 89 of Josh Gathright getting in the mix. But we are 3 wide racing back here, folks. That is the 04 of Mark Mann, the 44 of Anthony English, and the 36 of Stephen Luttrell, trying to make that outside line work. Here comes the 17 of Jimmy Reynolds going to join the fray. 3 wide, coming up through the pack. Coming through the tri-oval, back to the start-finish line. We will be 4 to go. Andrew Schroeder drops it down in front of Hunter Reynolds. Well, that's going to give Adam Kilday the push he needs by the 49 of Cole Spalding. Ooh, a little bit of wiggling, wobbling going on. Be careful, guys. Don't want to cause the caution with 4 to go, because that'll bring out our first green-white checker to tip. Mark Mann out on that outside. Let's see if we can't get a view here. That is Mark Mann, Anthony English, 36 of Stephen Luttrell, trying to get that outside line going. Mark Mann is still trying to get help from the 44 of Anthony English. Andrew Schroeder leading that pack on that low line right now. with the help of Hunter Reynolds and the 29 of Luke Gray. 49 of Cole Spaulding right on the bumper of the 85 of Adam Kilday with the 69 of Dusty Burkhart. Well, Hunter decides he's going to go to that outside line in front of Adam. 29 of Luke Gray trying to get up and get hooked up with Andrew Schroeder. Well, 69 to the outside with the number 4 of Rick Seabrands, Mark Mann, and Gabe Butler, David Overstreet. 3 to go. Here we go, folks. Coming to the line. Will be 2 to go. Can they make it around one more time with a white flag to come out? Ooh, Hunter Reynolds and Adam Kilday dropping it down to the inside. Cole Spaulding thought about it. Wasn't clear. Ended up going back up. Well, James Mayer's right there with him. Here comes James pushing Cole Spaulding up towards the front. Anthony English there as well as the 36 of Stephen Luttrell. But on the outside, Dusty Burkhart, Rick Sanchez, Mark Mann trying to get a run on that third line. Hunter Reynolds just edging out the 49 of Cole Spaulding right now. Got to make it to this next lap here, folks, to get the white flag. The white flag goes out. Guess what? Whatever happens is going to happen. Cole Spaulding, your leader at the line. That's going to be his first lap led. 1 to go, folks. Whatever happens is going to happen at this point. These guys are going to be racing hard to the end. Hunter Reynolds, Adam Kilday, Andrew Schroeder, Luke Gray, Eric Laurie on that inside. Cole Spaulding got left in the middle by himself. Gets a shot by the 36. Well, Hunter Reynolds jumps up to that second line. Throwing a block up there, maybe. I don't know. James Mayer dropping it down that inside line. Here comes. Ooh, big shot there by the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. Adam Kilday to the inside, coming around the tri-oval. Who's going to get it? Adam Kilday. James Mayer in the lead. Right now getting pushed by Hunter Reynolds. Coming to the line. Checker flag in the air, folks. James Mayer going to get the win. 26 of Hunter Reynolds in second. Cole Spaulding in third. Well, we're going to back this up here, get to the start-finish line. Then we'll get your top 3 up here for the post-race interview. Let me change cameras here real quick, folks. Get this thing spun around. Where is my mouse? Nothing is working. Why is my camera angles not working? Well, hang tight, folks. We're going to get our top 3 up here for the MaxspeedTV post-race interview. We will be right back. All right, folks, we are back. I am joined now in the booth by Mr. Mark Mann. Mark, great race, man. We're going to get our top three up here.
Already?
And, man, you just about had it. I thought you were, if y'all could have got that outside line to go, I think you would have been up there, buddy.
You know, those trucks were getting so hot that it was hard to keep them cool. It was really hard to build up any momentum in that third lane. You know, that middle lane was money tonight.
The middle and the low lane both looked fast tonight.
Yeah, they were. And, you know, just didn't come together there at the end. But, you know, it was a good race. We had good green flag runs, green flag pit stops. We had that one competition caution at lap 50. But besides that, it was pretty good.
Well, we're going to go ahead and bring our third place driver up here. Let me get him moved up. That is the number 49 of Cole Spalding. Cole started in 12th, made your way up to the front, stayed clean pretty much the whole race, still had your fast repair left, man. Let's talk about your race. How did it feel out there to you, transitioning from a hot track to a little bit cooler? How did it feel out there for you, bud?
Yeah, it felt pretty great. It was awfully familiar. I was just trying to stay with my teammate Luke, and I was just trying to stay with Russell, you know, kind of tag along with them, pit when they pit.
Well, excuse me, but, you know, you guys had some good green flag pit stops. You know, some guys were having some problems with that, with the pit entry and the pit exit. I think mostly because they may have not have took tires. You know, of course, we all know super speedways like this, usually tire wear is not that big of a deal. But when you talk about 100 laps, your tires got to wear out a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of changed tires at the halfway point. You know, the truck kind of felt a bit more glued to the track and fresher tires. Pit entry was that's something I still got to work on, and I've been dealing with kind of a shifter issue, so that was kind of fun to deal with. But yeah, the fresher tires did help, kind of make it feel more secure, and yeah, that's about it.
I've got Mark up here. Mark is our race sponsor. I'm sure he probably wants to congratulate you and let you know what you got for tonight.
Yeah, great job out there, Cole. Nice job to get that podium. You won yourself $15. One more position, it would have been 25, but we appreciate you coming out. Great way to hang in there and hit those late pit stops and stay in the pack. Good to have you race again. Hopefully we see you for the next one.
Oh yeah, I'll always be around for the next one. These races are a riot. I always have fun with them, and it's not really about the money. It's I always just like being in the brawl, you know.
Absolutely, and we know you from racing in these other series. Is there anybody you want to thank tonight? Any shout outs, love yous, I do's, kiss cam, any of that?
I'd like to do a shout out for Luke Gray. He's the one that got me into iRacing and all this. So if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't exactly be with you guys right now. So I'd like to give Luke Gray a shout out.
Yeah, Luke Gray, great racer. Been racing with him a long time. So that's cool that it got you into these series. We appreciate you being here. I just sent you the $15 PayPal.
Thank you, sir. And I'm always happy to be here.
Absolutely.
All right, Cole. Well, go celebrate, buddy. Congratulations on your podium finish tonight. And, man, I hope we see you soon.
Yep, I'll see you soon. Have a good one.
All right. Well, that's going to bring us, excuse me. You got a tickle in my throat. Mark got to talking too much tonight, I guess.
It must be.
So that's going to bring us to our second place finisher. Probably caught him. Sound like we might have caught him in mid-sentence or something, but Mr. Hunter Reynolds, we talked to him a little bit. One of our on-track reporters that we had tonight. Man, you started fifth, stayed up front pretty much the whole night, and man, let's talk about the overall race, track conditions. I know Everett was saying that the trucks would get hot and that they'd be hard to cool off. What was it like running in the pack, buddy?
Yeah, I gotcha. Appreciate it. Yeah, stayed up in front most of the night. It was hot pushing these trucks. You had to kind of make moves. That top lane, if everyone stacked up on the bottom and got hot, the top lane would absolutely roll. And I feel like I could keep it cool pretty good on the bottom, but pushing up top, man, it was hard work. But yeah, out there at the end, I feel like I made all the moves I could. Getting in front of Killin, coming down. He was gonna be hot at the end, but man, props to James Mayer on that. He put a good move on me going into turn 4 right there. So good job to him. Great race all in all. It's a good time.
Yeah, and we were talking about pit stop strategies. Mark had mentioned the late pit stops helped help Cole get out there or get out to the front and kind of battle with you guys. What was y'all? I know you had several guys in the room with you. I know your dad was one of them. What did you guys talk any about pit stop strategy?
There was a little bit. It never really became a fuel mileage race per se, the way the cautions came out, but kind of figuring out, oh, we got a couple laps left, trying to get our teammates in and everything. That was most of our strategy talk. There wasn't really any planning, kind of just run the thing out, and we did get lucky there at the end, though. I thought we were going to be screwed whenever that last caution came out, but it shuffled us all to the front. So, and Cole, I don't think I've run with Cole a whole lot, but man, he was pushing good up there.
Well, it's definitely a good race to watch. Again, I mean, our caution count was 5 cautions, which on a super speedway is really good for 100 laps compared to what we've seen in the past. We had 50 lead changes tonight, which is unbelievable. But I got Mark up here with us, and I know he's got a few words for you.
Little Hunty, been racing with Hunter a long time. So you and Jim up there battling at the end was no surprise. You guys kind of came on to the iRacing scene at the same time. Hunter's no stranger to the front, no stranger to championships and winning. So congratulations tonight, Hunter. Anybody you want to thank, brother? Shout outs? You got a special one at home? Mom, dad?
Yeah, Mom actually sponsored the race tonight. She didn't know it until we were eating dinner, so that was kind of a surprise to her. But she'll get her money back too, so she can help us with the next one. But it was a good event, man.
I just sent that $25 back to Jimmy, so his PayPal. So you have to fight him for it.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll get that sorted out. But he's my manager. But yeah, good race all around. I think all caution's pretty good. Good job, Mark. I'm loving these events you're putting on, and maybe one time I can come home with a watch. We were close.
Well, I'm happy. I'm gonna purchase another replica Rolex here at some point, and we'll give that one away. We still have the Arton Senna replica Tag Heuer that Jim elected to take the money tonight, and that's all good. But yeah, any more shout outs? If not, heck of a race, brother.
Yeah, that's good for me, so I can get back out here and try to win that one. But yeah, thanks all the boys at Bootnaka. It was a good run with you guys tonight. Like I said, thanks to Mom for sponsoring the race. Appreciate my dad being out here. Steven, good job up in the booth. I love the in-race reporter deal. Appreciate everybody else watching too. It was a good event, and gonna be excited to get out here for another one.
Awesome.
All right, Hunter. Well, will we see you tomorrow night?
To be determined. To be determined.
Mm-hmm. He's young. He's got a life.
I try very hard.
iRacing just crashed on me.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
I don't know why, but iRacing just crashed on me.
Bummer.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and finish this up, Hunter. Congratulations, buddy. And we will hopefully see you tomorrow night. If not, we'll see you here soon.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Later.
We're going to go ahead and bring our winner up here, Mark. Again, James, I do apologize, sir. iRacing crashed on me, and it took me off of your truck. But that 95 machine, dude, I know you had that last caution, or the caution that came out, you kind of got tagged
Yep.
in it. But
Yeah.
but man, you were able to get that fast repair, get back out there, got you back up to the front, and Hunter was giving you kudos for that move, man. That last move was amazing. But man, let's talk about your overall race. How did it feel out there to you, and what was it like?
All around, I think it was a good race. Kept it clean. That was my first incident point, was getting tagged there in that last caution. So all around a good race. I think Hunter pushed me to the stage there. Huge shout out to Hunter for not sticking it 4 wide there and sticking with me, giving me that last push for the win there. I know he just as easily could have went 4 wide. I kind of couldn't make my mind up if I wanted to go all the way to the bottom or stick in the middle there, but it looked like that middle was coming with the better run. This win goes to him. That doesn't happen without him, coming back down and sticking with me instead of taking it 4 wide.
Well, let's talk about the lines. I know Mark was up there on that high line, and I think you run up there some. Now, if you had 3 or 4 or 5 trucks, that high line was doing good. You'd had the momentum, especially on the straightaways. But it looked like the high line to me, just from my view, going into the corners, you guys was losing a little bit of that momentum.
Yeah, I think overall, depending on when, I think all the lines are pretty even if the pushers' temperatures are even. So if that high line can get organized, after a lap or 2, after those the low lane and the middle lane have been pushing and they're a little bit warmer, I think the high side is dominant. Especially if you can get, like you said, 3 or 4 trucks organized bumper to bumper. But I think it all comes down to timing, really. Coming down to the last couple laps there, everybody's just pushing as hard as they can. So I think the lines are probably pretty even, but I think for most of the race, the high line's probably the way to go. If you get, like I said, a good group of organized trucks up there pushing, 3, 4, 5 trucks.
Well, I want to also ask you, that little incident that you got, you were just a victim of circumstance positioning. Do you think that actually helped you? Because it allowed you to get up there and get your fast repair done, get your fuel, maybe tires, and it got you back out pretty quick.
I took the quick, and I took 4 tires. Pretty much every caution I take 4 tires, just out of habit. Alliance Motorsports, we spare no expenses on tires, so we always take tires. Really, it didn't really set me back too far, after coming out of the pit. So, got a good run, through the middle there. Like that high side, the high lane just wasn't getting organized well enough. So we were able to sneak up through the middle a little bit and, get in a position to get back towards the front. But so I don't want to say it hurt me. I don't think it helped me, but I don't think it hurt me too much. Getting caught up in that.
Well, that was a good master class there, Jim, at the end. And knowing what line had the momentum, Anthony had a good push on you there in the 3rd line.
Yeah.
He got you clear, and I did see that you went down as Killday was making a run on the bottom, but you saw that middle lane had the momentum, and that was the right call. And Hunter sticking with you there, that was pretty cool. Good win.
Yeah, I hate to, obviously running with Anthony all the time. Like, I hate to leave a teammate, out there. But I saw those low and middle lanes were getting the runs. I was like, I'm gonna go and try to clog up one of those lanes. But yeah, coming out of 4, it was just kind of guessing which line had the better run, and it looked like the middle lane had the better run.
Well, Jim, Great win, bro. Do you want to give any shout outs? You want to
Uh,
give a shout out to your wife who's probably up in bed watching it on her iPad
she's
right now?
yeah, I'll shout out to her, but she'll never know because I don't think she's ever watched one of these. Shout out to you, Mark, putting these fun Friday events on. They've been fun. Today was obviously a clean race. So, huge shout out to all the guys for coming out and running this. Of course, Steve up in the booth putting on the show. We appreciate it, and hopefully we can do it again real soon here.
All right, James. Well, congratulations again, buddy. Go celebrate. And I believe Mark had already mentioned this, but you opted to take the cash buyout instead of the watch. So congratulations on the $50, I think it was, Mark.
Yep.
So congratulations on getting that. And, we got OP tomorrow night. Will you be there at OP tomorrow night? And then we got CFM Sunday night.
I unfortunately will not be there tomorrow night, but I should be there Sunday night.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations again on your win. Go celebrate, brother, and we will definitely see you Monday night or Sunday night.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right, buddy.
Later, Jim. Well, Steve, if you don't mind, I'd like to give a big shout out to you guys, you and MaxspeedTV, and wishing Josh well. And a special thanks to David Overstreet for helping me organize this race, and all the drivers who came out, because without them there'd be no us, right?
That's right. And that's what I was saying to our fans out there on YouTube land. If it wasn't for our fans, there'd be no MaxspeedTV. So big shout out to our fans out there. We've had we had 88 viewers tonight total during the broadcast. But Bubba Whittingham definitely out there. Les Levy showed up in chat. As awesome. Eric W., Richard Roberts, Everett Grover, Belva was
Mara?
out. I didn't see Mara. She was probably watching, but she didn't chime up. Netsby was out there in chat as well, all jacked up. I'm just kind of going through my chat here.
Well, I hope they hit the like and subscribe.
Yeah, we had 7 likes, but, the drivers will always go in and put their likes in. They'll go back and watch the replay. And again, big shout out to you, Mark. I mean, you're setting these things up, getting the prizes for these guys. So big shout out to you. And, I didn't really get a name for this one, but that's why I was like, well, this is going to be the Mark Mann's Killing Time again.
That sounds good.
So definitely huge thanks to you, Mark, for getting everything together for these guys to come out and race. And from me to you, I appreciate you giving me an opportunity to broadcast these races. I always have a good time, and I know our fans enjoy it too. So big thank you for that as well. So
that's awesome.
But we're going to go ahead and get to our unofficial results. I say unofficial. There's really no admin stuff, so these will be the official results. James Mayer, your winner tonight in the 95 machine. The 2600 Reynolds in second. The 49 of Cole Spalding in third. Adam Kilday in fourth. Stephen Luttrell with a good top 5 finish there in fifth. Anthony English battling his way up through the field and getting into sixth. He had a little bit of issues, I think, a little earlier in the race. Andrew Schroeder as well, finishing 7th. Gabe Butler finishing 8th. Dusty Burkhart in 9th. And Luke Gray rounding out our top 10. Eric Laurie finishing in 11th. Rick Seabrands in 12th. Dean Wilkinson in 13th. Mark Mann, our host tonight, or our sponsor tonight. Not the finish that he wanted, but hey, 14th, top 20, still a good finish, especially with the caliber of drivers that we have coming through these events and that we run with every week, week in and week out. So
yep, agreed.
Joshua Gathright finishing 15th, Dustin Loxton in 16th, Nicholas Wing in 17th, Russ Hancock finishing 18th, Rick Sanchez in 19th, David Overstreet, our host tonight, that's what I meant to say to begin with, in 20th. Jimmy Reynolds, rough night for Jimmy, ended up a lap down, but finishing in 21st. Everett Lane, our pole sitter, rough ending for him, finishing in 24th. Alex Green, 22nd. Alex Green in 23rd. Mike Edgerton finishing 24th. Sebastian Martin Seabass finishing 25th. Dude Conrad finishing 26th. And Doug Johnson in 27th. And John Guerrero rounding out our 28 truck field tonight in 28th. So, again, big shout out to you, Mark. Thank you, sir, for putting this on for these guys as we wind up tonight. I'm going to go ahead and turn the mic over to you. And again, give you any final thought, shout outs, thanks you want to give before we call it a night, buddy.
Yeah, just want to say thanks to all the drivers that came out tonight, and they're the ones that kept it clean. It was actually a relatively clean race for Talladega with a hot track and a good sized field. But thanks to all the drivers, and shout out to Mara out there in YouTube land and everybody who's watching. Please hit that like and subscribe. And Josh, keep getting healthy, man. We look forward to seeing your return at some point. And Steven's doing a great job.
I'm doing the best I can with what I know, and we're going to keep this going as long as we can. Once I get with some other guys, Mark, we're going to probably do a live stream, so everybody keep your eye out for that to figure out what we're going to do as far as MaxspeedTV. We may be adding some races throughout the next season. We'll find out, but stay tuned. But as far as tonight, that's going to do it for us here on MaxspeedTV. Of course, from the OP guys and the Checker Flag Motorsports, we thank everybody for tuning in tonight and watching. Until tomorrow night, OP, we are still in our second round of playoffs for the last race of the second round to figure out who's going to be our top 10. I believe Mark is still in the hunt for that, so we'll have to wait and see. But until then, folks, everybody be safe. Have a good night. Have a great weekend, and we will see you tomorrow night.
Peace.